sometimes there are the moments that you gotta be there, gotta be on time, take a chance. And, I knocked hundreds of the door till they don't open. I decide to do something, I'm all in.
Your manager was telling you, hey man, there's no way you're getting into the UFC right now. And he shows up and demands that he gets a fight in the UFC to his manager, and then does it on his own without a manager.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourself because you're about to witness not just a fighter, but a man I have just named the Tbilisi Terror. A striker so deadly, so precise, they call the kicks the Giga Kick. And a man so cool, I call him the Giga Chad. He is a machine ready to step back into the octagon for you, a man ready to step back into the identity crisis for us. He is Giga Chikadze. You're from Georgia, right?
Mm-hmm.
My husband's from Bulgaria. And I was watching a bunch of your interviews, and I have to say, you guys kind of remind me of each other.
Oh, yeah?
One, the complexion. You guys have a really nice olive tone, but also you guys are both men of few words.
I guess.
But kick asses.
How much does Miro weigh right now?
Like 265.
Honest question. Miro, not very trained,
Right.
big guy.
Yeah.
Who wins in a fight, you or Miro? Could you beat up a guy that's 265 pounds who has some training in?
He has a really strong right hand punch.
With close my eyes, I can say that Miro could dominate easily that fight.
Do you think Miro could dominate you in grappling?
Grappling is a very submissions involved, so it's very realistic fight.
Or
right?
wrestling, I guess. Wrestling.
I mean, definitely. I'm not a wrestler.
Yeah.
And
I
Miro
know
was
how
a
to
trainer.
defend myself in wrestling, but I'm probably the only Georgian who never wrestled because we have definitely one of the best schools in wrestling. But he's a big dude, 300 pounds. I'm 175 right now, so who knows, right?
You're walking around 175. Okay.
Yeah.
It was 185, but we went to
Wow.
lunch together. No, we went to Pete and I went to his house.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh yeah, I haven't eaten in 7 days. And he cooked us a full steak. He's like a masochist. The guy's sitting there, he makes us plates of food and he hasn't eaten in 7 days.
Why are you cutting?
I was fasting. Yeah, I was fasting. He can edit a couple of more days, but yeah, I was around like 4 days. And,
Why were you fasting?
I think it's a great way for detox and clean your body sometime.
Yeah.
I'm a Orthodox Christian and we have a fasting also in our religion. In Georgia, a lot of people does it, but mostly it's about no products from animal. But that days I was completely fasting with water.
Wow.
Didn't even help with electrolytes. And after I was done, so it's so funny that I'm in a market, me and my son, and suddenly my neighbor comes, who's very small, very skinny, and he tells me about the fasting. Hey, you ever fast? And I'm like, yeah, it's been a while. I haven't fasted. Oh, you want to do it together? And it's kind of, I took it as a joke because I didn't expect he would ever fast. And he's like, yeah, I've done this amount of days and I'm pretty okay with that. And then we had a challenge. So he tapped out after 2 days and I kept going for 2 more days. And once, I reached like 4 days. In the night, I made made the burger and steak and everything together.
my
He told me
God.
a burger for breakfast. I was like, did you eat it? He's like, yeah, I had a hamburger. I thought you were fasting for climate change. That's curious. It was Orthodox Judaism or Christianity.
No, it was not particularly that time, but usually I fast a lot. Like when it's Christmas and Easter, we have a long fasting, like the 40 days around. And
It's like Lent, right? Is that what Lent
sorry?
is? Is it Lent? Is that
Lent?
Lent is
I'm
around
not sure.
Easter.
Oh, it's Easter.
If people. Wait, do you fast during Christmas time too?
I do, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I try to.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long? I didn't even know
So
that.
Georgian Christmas is the 7th of January.
Oh, that's like the
Orthodox-
Russian Christmas.
Yeah, we're Orthodox Christians, right?
Oh,
So
interesting.
then we start end of November around the time.
Wow.
And Christmas here, we don't really eat much at the time, and we cannot eat meat.
I did not
and
know that.
New Year's and till 7th of January, we're waiting, and then
Interesting.
we go all in.
That's an experience of a fighter, actually, and hanging out with you guys. All you're doing is not eating all the time.
And then,
like they're always you're always cutting weight at some extent. Even you don't have a fight scheduled, and it's like you're in some process of cutting weight.
Because I especially gain so much weight. I'm like usually like 40 plus pound over than my weight division.
wow.
So I have to really prepare before I start camp, and
wow.
that's why I did the time that you saw me.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I hate to bring this up, but there was a weight miss your last fight.
It was.
What happened?
Yeah, there was he missed a weight by a pound.
No
But you
way.
were like cutting. I mean, I know you were like.
Yeah, I missed the weight first time in my life with 0.4 pound, and they announced the 1 pound. And there was like the big misunderstanding in my team because I thought so. I did my part on my scale. It was only 0.2 pound over, and I had like 2 hours till weight checking would be completely down, shutting down. And usually like 0.2 pounds because you are so hot in your body because you just did your weight cut. It's gonna come off when you walking around, and it just I don't know. My body refused it, and my opponent had multiple cases missing weight, and it was in his hometown, so I was not sure how it would go. So I was waiting kind of for him as well, and all that turned that when I went on a scale of UFC, they have multiple scales there as well, and one scale showed 0.3 pound over, another 0.4, and when I stood on a scale like official, which is like old school scale, they announced the 1 pound. They have not even checked like that, and I was a little pissed on that.
Wow.
Totally, like my opponent got paid like 20% of my purse.
When we first met, he told me, I'll let you say it, but so there's this thing called Contender Series, which we've talked about before. You have a fight on Contender Series. If you win the fight in impressive fashion in front of Dana White, you get a contract. If you lose the fight, you often don't get a contract.
Yeah.
Giga loses his Contender Series fight, and yet still showed up to basically UFC headquarters and said, anyone drops out of a fight at any time, I will show up last minute notice. I will be on weight, and I'll be ready to fight. And he did that all through COVID.
That was multiple times. Yeah.
Put together an insane
Almost
winning
every
streak.
weekend.
Wow.
Capped off by a victory over Edson Barboza, who was the consensus one of the best strikers in all of the UFC history. Giga pieced him up, knocked out Cup Swanson, TKO second round, right?
First round.
First round, sorry, first round. You told me to be careful, by the way, next time he comes over.
Again.
Wow.
He's a new coach for me, so we don't talk about that.
He trains with, this is also an amazing thing about these guys. Giga knocks this guy out, and now the guy is his coach.
Wow.
Actually, I want to
Well, he needed a job.
I want to give him much credit on that, because I don't know if somebody did that to me. I don't know if I would be able to do what he does for me even today. Like even today we hang out this morning. He showed me his gym. He's opening pretty soon, and we exchange. I have a plan. We got a little plan to open a gym soon in Orange County, one of the best striking, I believe.
Wow.
And he showed me his place, and he's like part of a family these days, like amazing guy, amazing human being, and heads off on that to him.
Johnny called me today, not today, but this past week, about your gym.
Right.
And being an angel investor.
Maybe. Let's not break it yet.
Maybe.
Save it for my
Maybe. But just now I was thinking, what about if I go start training with him, and then he can help me be an incredible striker, and then I can at any time in wrestling and WWE, if anyone else has an issue with me, I'm ready to strike.
You know what? And people say this all the time, but
Great idea. I love it.
I think every woman should learn jiu-jitsu and self-defense, because if you look at
Jiu-jitsu's hard.
But if you look at UFC 1, what's the concept of UFC 1? A sumo wrestler versus your neighborhood tough guy versus a jiu-jitsu guy.
Something like that.
Yeah.
No weight classes. And a guy who's like
It was
160
pretty cool.
pounds. It was
Pretty
amazing.
cool,
I actually wish
yeah.
they'd go back to that.
Yeah, I think
I know
so
it's not
too.
safe, but
just 3 fights per night. I love it.
160 pound guy, Royce Gracie, wins the entire tournament. Beats Kem Shamrock.
That's because of strikes or because
because of jiu-jitsu.
Because of jiu-jitsu, and he shows up on the fight with the gi. And back in the days, you would come with your outfit. No, it was not like only with the shorts, you know.
Oh,
If you were
interesting.
from judo, you would wear the judo gi. If you were from jiu-jitsu, you would wear jiu-jitsu gi.
Oh, I like
Karate
that.
Kid would come with his
Karate
outfit.
kid
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Wow, so they don't do that anymore?
I wish we did, but UFC doesn't do that.
Well, it's regulated. It's
Oh.
much more regulated now. It's
Yeah.
actually not good for a fighter. Imagine coming off your Calvin Kattar fight and then you have to fight again. Like it's impossible with
Yeah,
the
but
level of
that time, yeah, you're right. It was very different. Time was different as well, and rules were a big difference as well. You know, from that time to now. So
The only rule was
Sports
basically
changing.
like you could not grab someone's penis, but like
Wow.
everything else was allowed. You could like there's literally no other rules. You could like kick someone in the face. You
Oh
could
my God.
poke their eyes. You could do anything.
So, and this is UFC, not just MMA, right?
that's UFC.
UFC,
Yeah,
but it's, UFC is just the biggest MMA organization.
No, I get that. I was just wondering about all these, like how people used to dress in their karate outfit or their jiu-jitsu outfit. Is that where some of them would get their gimmicks? Like Connor take from McMahon because he would do his little thing, you know, walking down like
The
Vince
Billy walk.
McMahon, the Billy walk, and pretend to be like a billionaire, you know, pull a lot of inspiration. Or who was the guy that did the national stuff?
Well, Kobe Covington has his like
yes.
nationalistic
Yes,
gimmick.
that's
He
what I was
comes out to
thinking.
Kurt Angle's music, also very famously. And the first really to innovate in the world of developing a gimmick as a mixed martial artist is probably Chael Sonnen. I think is largely considered to be, and he's borrowing from like superstar Billy Graham, for instance, right? That really brash, flamboyant,
Yes.
larger than life persona.
Talking shit,
But if you
being
walk,
the
Smart.
gangster.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
his promos though.
American Gangster. Yeah,
I
love it.
love his. So, do you like? What are your thoughts on all that? Because to me, that reminds me of professional wrestling a lot. How we create these characters larger than life, and you know, you have John Cena who can cut promos, and maybe he's not the best technical wrestler, but he's able to sell seats and compelling promos. And I feel like I don't know. I wanted to hear your thoughts on
I,
it all.
I loved that thing, and I'm really missing it. I used to fight in kickboxing before MMA, mixed martial arts, and there was a show called Glory. Glory is like imagine like what's UFC for MMA. That's Glory is for kickboxing, kind of highest stage. And in Glory, you're more than welcome to come out with your entrance, whatever you wanna wear. These days, I can't even come up with karate kimono
Really?
on my fight because UFC regulates it. Like you just have to wear your shirt and shorts, and you can walk with your own music. That's at least a good thing. But I think if they would do like back in the days they used to do, it would be more marketable for the fighters. I don't know if it would be better for UFC, but definitely it would put some extra salt on fighters.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a-
would
So
be
sorry,
cooler.
I'm curious. Why did they change that? Because to me, that's more interesting and compelling to begin with. Is there a reasoning?
Personally, I think that the UFC is such a big company. They market it very well, and they're building these days the brand more than athletes. I would say, of course, they have one of the toppest athletes, and whoever wins the championships, they always become stars.
Right.
But back in then, championship belt was not requirement just for you to become a star. If you watch like the old fights from the Pride, which was one of the organization was in Japan, their entrance still one of the best. You know,
Wow.
and they would come with the axis and some craziness was going on. Crowd would go like crazy and all that. Back then there was no social media. Otherwise, that would be real shit. I would say,
Wow.
like so.
So
That back then was even easier to become a star. That's what I'm saying because
interesting.
you would make your character, and if they would promotion would support you in that, you easily would be one of the big name in the sports.
I want to go back. I want to segue back a little bit to 2020 and when you basically took over UFC with your hustle, which I love. I love like the fact that you flew yourself to Dana White and said, "Give me an opportunity, just give it to me. Anyone that can't do it, give it." Like I love that. I love Love that. And it shows your success shows, obviously, that type of hustle. So how long did it go? Also, I want to hear how it was fight. Were you guys like the Thunderdome with screens or just no audio?
Yeah, that
The
was.
I fought through the Thunderdome.
You did?
Oh my God. That was crazy.
You won Survivor Series.
I won Survivor Series at that's nuts. So I'd love to hear your input of how it is fighting with no one. And that whole chapter of your life.
So that COVID time was really interesting for everyone, I guess, but especially for the fighters, because story starts with, like you mentioned, I reached out to UFC multiple times
Wow.
since I lost my contender series fight.
Wow.
I won like two fights outside of UFC, and then did work on whatever I had to work on, my grappling, and did a lot of tournaments. And then in August in 2019, they came in Orange County in Anaheim. There was a card, and one of my teammates was fighting. So I decided to kind of somehow reach the matchmakers, I was there pretty much like whole week and trying to catch the matchmakers and introduce myself. I mean, they already knew me, but say hi, give a little speech to them. And I caught two of the matchmakers from UFC, Mick Maynard and Sean Shelby. And I just told them what I was doing all this time. And I was thirsty to fight. I was hungry to fight. And I was seeking for opportunities. And any weight, pretty much, even heavyweight, I was able to fight just because to get the contract. It doesn't matter. Like sometimes people, what we do, fighters, is we fight in a different weight divisions when there is somebody, let's say somebody missed the weight, or they need an opponent for someone particular and they are looking for somebody. So I'm 145er, but I would definitely fight like 155 or 170 guy because UFC gives you the 4-fight deal contract. So even if you just go there and do your best, try to fight some big guy and give a good impression, they're going to give you the 4-fight deal. And you might lose the first fight, but then you got 3 more fights to prove who you are and perform your best.
Oh my God.
So I did the same thing, and I reached out after that day. Pretty much every second day I was emailing them, the Sean Shelby, the matchmaker. And I talked to my manager as well, and he was said from UFC that, hey, we're not going in UFC now. We need 3-4 wins to get to the UFC. And I was like, no, I'm ready. I know I'm the better than most of the guys, and I can prove myself. I just need the chance. And one of the morning, I wake up, do beautiful email and asking for the fight and asking for opportunity. But I am literally 35 pounds over my overweight on my weight division. And I'm saying that, hey, please give me a chance. I'll fight no matter what. And in 2 minutes after, suddenly I got this miracle email back that, hey, how far can you make 145? And I'm sending the picture that I'm running the bike, riding on the bike, and hey, I'm already on my weight. I can fight tomorrow.
Wow.
And
how much were you then?
I was 180.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're
got
like,
a
no,
week.
I'll get
You
the
got a week.
145.
I got 13 days.
13 days.
To
Wow.
cut. Like in 2 weeks, there was a fight, and 13 days to make the weight. And that was in Copenhagen, in Denmark.
Oh my God.
And
This was during COVID.
That was
before?
right before the COVID.
Okay.
In 19 September.
Okay.
And I flew in Denmark, in Copenhagen. I make the weight. I win the fight. And then I set up my contract to keep continuing and do my thing.
Wow.
That's how everything went. I won the fight, but unfortunately the announcer made the mistake of reading the scores, and he announced the draw there was a 29-28, the full result.
Yeah.
And he read as 28-28, and he announced the draw. So I didn't celebrate my winning fight in the Octagon, and we all thought that there was a draw. And we go in the locker room, and we're really sad because and I'm still happy because I gave the really good fight I showed. And my dad actually cornered me in the fight from Georgia. He flew.
Yeah.
He's there with two of my coaches. And suddenly Sean Shelby shows up in the locker room and says that, hey, you guys won. And I'm like, yeah, thank you, Sean. I appreciate it. I think like, he just calms me down kind of that you did a good fight. But no, you guys really won the fight. He tells me that. And my dad doesn't speak any English. He doesn't understand any word. And it's like, yeah, thank you, Sean. I appreciate it. I'm telling him. And it's like, no, you guys really won the fight. The result was 29-28. The announcer had a mistake, and we started suddenly to celebrate and get crazy in the locker room. That and my dad is like, "What's going on? What's going on?"
So confused, he has no clue.
Oh my god, that was funny as hell. And
oh my gosh,
that was my first experience. So I didn't really get to celebrate and enjoy my winning fight for the first time in Octagon.
Wow.
But from that time started a pretty amazing journey,
Wow.
So
talk about keeping you humble. You can't even celebrate it out where you deserve it.
And the one piece I know the story too, and if you'll share,
sure.
It's not just you believed in yourself, and your manager was telling you, hey man, there's no way you're getting into the UFC right now.
Wow.
And this isn't just some rinky-dink manager. You have one of the biggest managers in the world, and he shows up and demands that he gets a fight in the UFC to his manager, and then does it on his own without a manager. Right? It's like you became your own manager. You put yourself out there. You fly to Copenhagen, and you win that fight. I mean, like that is, and there's so much impressive stuff about your story that I know. But even to get to that point where you could be there, and then to follow through with it like that, is just such a remarkable story.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting situation because like UFC told me the similar stuff a little bit earlier as well, and I was getting the same information from him. And but sometimes there are the moments that you gotta be there, gotta be on time, take a chance, and I knocked hundreds of the door till they don't open. That's my very, very big attitude. Probably that's how the people describe. When I decide to do something, I'm all in, and that was that moment that worked for me. And then we all started a new journey together, and I opened the door. So I was pretty happy with everything, how it's turned. And then we had the fight in Vegas in March 2020. And that's right, the event before COVID hit.
It was Ferguson Lee? Who was that? No.
The main event was Yoel Romero versus Israel.
Oh, Israel, right, yeah.
And me and Benny Ildarius, we both won the fight on the same card. That was like remarkable. It was like so great experience for both of us because I step in Octagon, beat the guy, tough fight, and then Benny goes and beats Tricus, I believe, and that was that emotions of the Joe Rogan, DC, and John Anik, I think. It's viral. That little video is like a meme they made, and it's everywhere on social media how he defeat his opponent.
Wow. So right after that, doors start to close, right? And you keep fighting.
Right.
Yeah. And so when did the real not controversial, when you got the very famous viral picture of you getting your face completely
This is the Calvin Kattar fight.
Destroyed. Yeah. When did that happen?
So after the fight
we have
I told you.
Oh, there it is. That's insane, by the way. And how did that happen? Like, I mean, I know that's a silly question to ask. I know you're in a fight, a real fight where anything can happen. But like, that doesn't always happen to everyone in fights.
Yeah, I guess.
And that's isn't that who's standing with you, the fighter that you fought?
Yeah.
Who beat you up?
We both ended up in hospital, and actually I took the picture and shared.
This is him posting it on his own social media.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a pretty tough fight. I was undefeated at that time in UFC. and I was one of the title contender. And he had a very tough fight as well the year before, and we both showed up with nothing to lose, and we were both all in and locked in, and
Wow.
it was a tough fight. Definitely, I had a bunch of injuries before the fight as well. I'm sure he had some as well. I don't know his story, but went full fight, full 5 round, and that's how it turned. Yeah, that moment took a lot from my career, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that came to a decision. You didn't get knocked out in that fight, right? So
Sure,
like
yeah.
he stood there strong for the entire fight.
Yeah, I remember then the last round coming up, I had like the already broken elbow, the broken wrist, broken orbital bone and nose, couple of different fractures in orbital bone, and I'm coming up in the last round and I'm talking shit in Georgian. It was funny. But I kind of enjoy. I wanted, like, we both wanted to kill each other in that day in the fight, and yeah, even after all that, the last round, how I started as well, like it was kind of proud moment for me to, and it's something like book to show my kids and anybody that, you know, that's who we are made with, you know, and that attitude that when we fight till the end.
Wow.
It's a great example too of you don't really need any drama or tension going into that fight for it to be completely enjoyable. Like it's just two athletes, peak performances in the prime of their careers, fighting to be next in line for the belt, or at least on the path to the belt. But and afterwards, you guys see each other in the hospital, and you're like high-fiving and you're hugging, and it's like there's no animosity whatsoever.
That fight is something, you know, that takes you so close to each other. You pretty much you reach to each other's all the brain, mentality, history. It's something that you bring. What do you bring on the table, you know? And you only just two of you know, nobody else.
Wow. So it's a little romantic, actually.
Very romantic.
Could be romantic. It doesn't look romantic to you, that picture?
It does not. Well, I mean, there's certainly an affinity between the two. He has a little glisten in his eyes. I can see.
Yeah, no, it does look like you're high off of something for sure. And you know, there's nothing like the dopamine that's released from these fights in our brain as well, you know? And wrestling, that's why I feel like we get what is it called? The blues, the athletic blues? Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
It's so a lot of athletes, people from the Olympics or pro athletes, pro wrestlers, because when we go out there and the whole stadium or arena is making noise, we get an instant dopamine hit. And the dopamine high that we get really can't be repeated anywhere else. And so often when we leave the sport, it's, you know, it's challenging adapting to everyday life. And that's why a lot of even concert people, too, like singers and rappers, the same way, because it's different than actors that are just behind, you know, performing in this style with people just production. Live performance, we get this instant high. And that's also why a lot of, at least with professional wrestlers and professional singers, there's a lot of addiction involved because, you know, and why I even started drinking heavily at different times post WWE, because it's like, I'm trying to replicate that dopamine high that only that arena really can give. So it's a lot of adjustment. Do you ever find, like, when you were coming and away and working on your health and recovering, do you ever find those same type of that you miss, besides the actual fighting, also that extra dopamine hit from performing in full arenas?
You know, for me, it's very hard to be out from the camp. Let's say when I fight till my next fight is scheduled, all the time, it's very hard. You know, but when I get the call that, hey, in 3 months, in 2 months, in 4 months, we gotta fight that guy, that event, everything starts again. Everything what's been before, it's gone. And you start from the new notebook. Imagine like the full of the whole white pages, and you start. I actually use notebook too, writing down my first week, second week, all the weight loss potential, all the trainers, all the teammates, where I can spar, what sponsors I can get, what can I use for marketing way. what I can, and then I study the opponent. Like it's not just a fight; it's a whole life.
Yeah, because discipline and commitment, and even the way you commit to the journey of prepping for a fight shows you that that's what you're going to do with anything that you do next.
The patience being always my problem growing up. Always I wanted everything now. There was no was no 2 minutes after. Right now, but I'm very patient on my work ethic.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
And that I learned from my teammates. I had great teammates since I moved in US. I saw the Italian kid coming here and training and giving up everything. I saw the Assyrian kid who gave up everything and lived his life with the martial arts. Brazilians, Americans, and I just try to challenge them in work ethic, not challenge them to be like, we're teammates and that's how we help each other to spar and everything. But main challenge for me to whoever would work smarter and would work more. So pretty much that's how I learned some more about the patience.
Yeah.
And I can say that I'm pretty good in that. So I'm excited for the future. I'm a dad of the 2 kids, and one is turning 16 soon in a few days, another 9. I enjoy being a parent, and we'll see where the journey is going to take me. I have a lot of opportunities from the Georgia as well. Since I was kid, we'll see.
What's on your next to-do list in UFC? I know, I'm making it like a to-do list for you because I feel like you're very goal-oriented and you're like, I'm going to go do this.
Oh, what I'm going to do?
Yeah. What are your goals? What are you manifesting right now?
Like the short, what's going on right now, I'll tell you. I'm planning to open a striking gym.
Sick.
In Orange County. Orange County is a very MMA fan base. And they love MMA, and everybody knows a little bit of martial arts. And I think it's going to be very smart to mix up my karate journey and Dutch kickboxing style for MMA, what I use. And finally, I started to figure things out because most of the time I had a lot of opportunities to open a gym, but I was always refusing that because of the time. And right now, I think it's the right time, and I'm putting the work to teach my way of the striking, because when you fight in karate or fighting in higher level of kickboxing and then you go suddenly in MMA, you're not going to be the successful if you do the same thing just what you do in that sport. Because when I left the kickboxing, I was ranked number 2 fighter in kickboxing, and then my style in MMA did not really fit. I had to adjust to many things.
Yeah.
And that all the experience what I have, I share that daily with my teammates, with the young fighters.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that can be really useful with everybody. And I have some signature kicks that you might want to come and learn from us. So it will be pretty.
I watched him in the Octagon train renowned fighters, top-ranked fighters, looking at his kick set and teaching them these proprietary moves. And it's not just how he kicks, because your body is such that you're incredibly flexible and you've been a decorated kickboxer for so long, but you also have maneuvers and ways to set up the kicks through evading punches, setting it up in southpaw, targeting the liver. And I watch people watch you do it, and it's fascinating because these people are at the very highest level of the sport, and yet you're still offering them this tutelage that they can't get anywhere else in the world. It's why I have absolutely no doubt your gym will be successful.
Yeah.
Because if you think about the 3 things that a lot of fighters need to become world famous, they either need to be world champions, check, he was a kickboxing world champion. You need to have an innovative or proprietary skill set, check, who has a kick named after them besides the Giga Kick and mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
And 3, you have to be an incredible personality.
Yeah.
And Giga has some of the most viral post-fight, which we haven't even got into, the Giga Show. I forgot, what was the fight? Was it after Barboza or Alex
No,
Carr?
after Kattar, when I came back and fought Alex Caceres in Singapore.
Yeah,
that was fun. Yeah.
So what happened after that happened? Because I'm not familiar with this.
Well, he created, apropos to how we started the conversation, you kind of adopted a bit of a gimmick, which was rare for you when you got into the Octagon, because you played it very bashfully in the beginning, and you set this up like you were going to say something from the heart, which you did, but then he delivers a sort of heel promo in the middle of the Octagon.
WWE style.
Yes, I love that.
And you had that planned, I presume.
Yeah, kind of had. And then I thought maybe I was not going to do it. But, it's been... In 2020, I was one of the most fighter that fought in 2020.
Wow.
So I fought like 4 times.
Wow.
And I took a lot of shine from... and then after 2022's fight from January, I had 1.5 layover. And where is Giga? There was a question, like I was becoming one of the biggest name at the moment, and then suddenly disappeared the Giga. And then I had this opportunity to fight in Singapore, and I won the fight. It was a great fight, was a great fighter. And then I kind of tricked the audience that I was gonna kind of retire from the sports, and suddenly kind of yelled, and it's a funny.
It's a nice little heel turn.
Well, and like the best professional wrestling gimmicks, there were real life aspects
even
imbued in the character.
Was in the cage, and
he
was like my coaches were like, "What's going on?"
Because you're coming off of hearing that you have brain hemorrhaging or brain bleeding.
Right.
You're out of the Octagon for so long, and you yourself, I'm sure, questioned your future there. At some point, you got to start thinking about the long-term prospects of your health, and what's the trade-off, and how much is it worth it. And so to come back under those circumstances, to win that fight, and then deliver that promo, I mean, it really is. It was a star-making event, and it's why we love the sport so much, because we see people who absolutely put it on the line, deliver, and perform at the highest level, not just athletically, but also from an entertainment standpoint. And that's really, I think, a big crossover with WWE.
Yeah. Like, do you guys feel like, what was we talked about a little bit of beforehand, does MMA have, or in UFC, do they have to create drama to sell tickets more? Like, is it enough just to do the fight, or do people need to create some drama to sell the fight more? Like, I personally believe that's what Jake Paul does really well. Logan Paul does really well. WWE does really well.
Chase D'Amore
actually does really well. I don't know. I'm curious I want to ask you some questions about him too. But I'm just curious, do you believe that you can just be a great fighter and be the best, or one of the best? Or do you need to create drama to help put asses in seats and sell tickets?
Yeah, definitely. There are some people that really don't get involved in drama and still reach the highest goals.
Why do you think
highest
that?
levels. It's just when you win the fight, no one can take anything from you. When you keep winning. This sports is about winning, right? We have a couple of guys that they never lost in UFC, or they lost and then they won all their fights, and they are on top of the top. So there can be that way, but there are some guys that make more entertaining. Some people starts to hate them, or some people start to loving them, and I think that all that helps. All that definitely helps, and there was first that was not really my case. I was just locked in and work, and then few times I brought little attitude. Sometimes it was outfit, sometimes it was some signature. What John mentioned after that fight. The Giga Show is back, motherfuckers.
I get chills when you say it. I just heard you say it. I'm like in the Octagon with you. I get chills.
Oh my God. Did you feel you became more of a heel in that moment? Or were you sometimes even in professional wrestling, when people become more heels, more villains, act more cocky, more talking shit, they actually get cheered more depending on
I
the
actually
situation.
waited 1.5 years to say that words, to say Giga Show was back. You know,
Wow.
so that
It was also so authentic too, though.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a shtick. You were back.
Yeah.
I mean, you were back, and it felt real. Is there any animosity you have with any fighters in real life? People you'd like to fight?
Ooh, yes. Spill some tea. Spill some
Definitely,
tea.
there are the multiple of them. You know, there was. You guys brought this sweet picture of myself. When that happened, a lot of people, a lot of fighters who were silenced before, and they could not do shit about me. They all opened up and started to call me out and talk some shit about me.
Really?
So
Who did that?
Wait, why? Because you
Uh,
posted a picture with the person you were fighting?
no, I lost the fight, and they watched.
He was
that
undefeated.
fight,
You were
right?
undefeated up
I
until
was
that point.
undefeated in
UFC.
UFC.
Everyone was afraid to call him out, and then they perceived some weakness because he lost, and now they start calling him out.
Oh, what
Yeah.
pussy.
I gotta admit, that's when I called you out for the first time. Too. Guilty as charged. But I wanted to fight you that night, right after the fight, not after.
So there was many names at time.
Wow.
Most of the featherweights at time was mentioning my name, was tweeting and everything. Definitely, the
crazy.
Volkanovski would be sweet to fight one day, you know. But not only him, like a lot of featherweight ranked fighters. But besides that, there is always some drama. I mean, I had a couple of situations that we had a little situation in Vegas, and
When I met you, right?
yeah, when you met me that night, yeah, definitely in the
Wait, what
club
was that?
scene.
This was 2022 International Fight Week, in which Israel Adesanya fought Jared Cannonier and walked out with a full urn, hat, and Undertaker music. By the way, talking about pro
Wow.
wrestlers adopting gimmicks.
Wait, that wasn't Madison Square Garden.
No, it was at
Okay.
the T-Mobile.
Oh,
But
okay.
we
Vegas,
met
yeah.
at the UFC after party at, I think it was Encore or whatever that
Wow.
club
No,
is.
there was somewhere different. Yeah, it was the UFC's after party.
But he was
that's
just
right.
coming from getting in a kerfuffle, if you will.
Wow.
I left from there to Encore Access.
Oh, Access, yeah.
Yeah, that night there was some incident with some UFC fighter that I was not really happy about, and I ended up with police and all the situation.
So you guys
there,
get in a
and-
physical fight?
Yeah, kinda. Yeah. So it was weird, like his friends or something. A very weird situation, but definitely I'm not gonna bring the name because
A notorious shit talker, though. I can say that about this
whatever
person.
happens in the streets, it goes to streets.
And now
Stays in the
and now we roll
streets.
together. So what happens to you happens to me. We're,
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, other than that, you know, I have a ton of the respect of every single fighter because I know what they do to prepare, and there is nobody that doesn't fight that for someone and for some good causes. You know, sometimes they bring this image or character that you might like it or you might don't like it, but that is behind his story. And when you hear that full story, you're definitely gonna have a little sympathy of the fighter of that.
Giga, what a phenomenal pleasure it's been to sit down and talk with you. I get the luxury of doing this all the time. And so for me, I selfishly was really excited for you to come on the show and you to tell us a little bit about your story. And we didn't even really scratch the surface of the sacrifices you've made and really the incredible things you've accomplished in your career. And I hope we have you back on and find many forums to talk. And of course, I want to see you fight Miro. So I'm going to try my best to stoke those flames.
Plug in all your, where people can follow you and stuff.
Sure, I run my social media with the name Knockout Cancer. And rest of it, you guys can find me with Giga Chikadze on Twitter and Facebook and some other.
We should mention Knockout Cancer is a charity that you...
Knockout Cancer is a charity fund that I founded after my mom passed away from cancer. And we're trying to help some people. And so far, we close to 300 we reached already for multiple years. So.
Wow, that's awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome that you're bringing awareness to all these things and fighting for something other than our professions. So
Thank you.
I'll definitely follow and support. Thank you for being here.
Of course. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yay.
Great.